You've been learning French for weeks, maybe months, maybe even years. You know words, you've watched videos, you've repeated phrases. You've downloaded apps with tiny green owls judging your existence at 2 a.m. And yet, a French person says ça va at normal speed, and suddenly your brain turns into microwaved soup. Why does French sometimes feel beautiful but impossible? Why do learners understand grammar and theory but freeze in conversation? And why do so many students quit right before they're about to improve? In this video, we're diving into the biggest pain points French learners face, from pronunciation disasters and silent letters to listening panic, confidence crashes, grammar confusion, and the mysterious French ability to connect 12 words into one elegant sound wave. But more importantly, you'll learn exactly how to overcome each challenge with practical techniques that actually work. And stay until the end, because I'll also share the one mistake that secretly slows down most French learners more than anything else. Bienvenue. Let's begin. I can read French, but I can't understand it. This is one of the most common frustrations in French learning. You open a textbook and think, okay, I understand this. Then you hear native French speakers talking, and suddenly, bonjour, je suis très heureux de vous rencontrer. Merci beaucoup, à bientôt. Excuse me, where did the spaces go? French is famous for something called liaison and connected speech. Words blend together like melted cheese in a croissant dimension. For example, vous avez becomes vous avez, or ils ont sounds like ils ont. To beginners, this feels terrifying because your brain expects every word to sound separate. But French doesn't behave that way. French flows, it dances, it slides from one sound to the next like silk on polished marble. Stop trying to understand every individual word immediately. Instead, train your ears using slow listening. Listen to short clips repeatedly, not once, not twice, 10 times, 20 times. Your brain needs repetition before sounds begin separating naturally. Another powerful technique is shadowing. Shadowing means listening to native audio and repeating immediately after the speaker, almost like you're becoming their echo. At first, you'll sound like a confused parrot in a Parisian bakery. That's normal. But over time, your pronunciation, rhythm, and listening improve together. Salut, ça va? Oui, ça va bien, et toi? Très bien, merci. Simple on paper, lightning fast in real life. The secret is exposure, lots of it. French pronunciation can feel like the language was designed by poets and trolls. Silent letters everywhere, nasal sounds, the French R sounding like someone fighting a tiny dragon in their throat. Consider this word, beaucoup. You'd expect it to sound like bio cup, but no. French says beaucoup, because logic apparently took a coffee break. Then you meet words like oiseau, which looks terrifying but sounds like oiseau. 5 letters vanish into thin air like stage magicians. Learners often overpronounce letters, read French like English, fear sounding ridiculous, avoid speaking because they're embarrassed. And this creates a dangerous cycle. No speaking, no improvement, less confidence, even less speaking. First, accept that sounding awkward is part of learning. Every fluent speaker once sounded terrible. Every single one. Second, focus on sound patterns, not individual words. French pronunciation becomes easier when you learn common combinations. O, wa, u. Final consonants are often silent. Third, Imitate real speakers instead of reading isolated vocabulary lists. French is musical. You learn it better through rhythm and melody than robotic memorization. Repeat after me. Bonjour. Croissant. Français. Rouge. Beaucoup. Now exaggerate the sounds dramatically. Seriously. Bonjour. Croissant. Français. Rouge. Beaucoup. Language learning sometimes requires theatrical courage. Become temporarily ridiculous. It's strangely effective. French grammar is confusing. Articles, gender, verb conjugations, tenses, agreements. Suddenly, every noun has a personality and every adjective changes clothes depending on the sentence. Why is a table feminine? Why is a book masculine? Why are there so many verb endings? French grammar can feel like assembling furniture without instructions, while verbs scream at you in cursive. Students ask, why is it la maison but le livre? The answer is both simple and frustrating, because that's just how the language evolved. Gender in French is grammatical, not logical. Never memorize nouns alone. Always learn la voiture, le café, une chaise. Treat the article and noun as one unit, like linguistic glue. French verbs change constantly. Take the verb être. Je suis, tu es, il est, nous sommes, vous êtes, ils sont. It looks chaotic at first. Don't memorize giant tables mechanically. Instead, learn the most common verbs first. Use them in real sentences. Repeat them daily in context. Your brain remembers meaning better than isolated charts. Je suis fatigué. Tu es prêt? Nous sommes en France. Tiny sentences build fluency brick by brick. Fear of speaking. This might be the biggest obstacle of all. Not grammar, not pronunciation. Fear. Fear of mistakes, of judgment, of sounding foolish. Many learners create a silent prison for themselves. They study endlessly but avoid speaking. And language without speaking is like trying to learn piano without touching keys. Mistakes are not proof of failure. Mistakes are evidence that learning is happening. Children become fluent because they make thousands of mistakes fearlessly. Adults often try to avoid mistakes entirely, which slows progress dramatically. Create a mistake quota. Yes, really. Challenge yourself to make 10 mistakes a day, 20 speaking attempts a week, 1 awkward conversation every weekend. Turn mistakes into missions instead of disasters. Even imperfect French creates communication. And communication is the goal, not perfection. Perfection is a decorative chandelier. Communication is electricity. You learn words today, tomorrow, gone, evaporated. Your brain treats new vocabulary like guests at a party it never wanted to host. Many students memorize random word lists without emotional connection or repetition. Your brain remembers stories, images, emotions, patterns, context, not sterile vocabulary spreadsheets floating in the void. Use memory associations. For example, the French word poubelle means trash can. Imagine a celebrity named Pooh Bell singing inside a garbage bin. Weird? Absolutely. Memorable? Yeah, unfortunately, yes. Another example. Pain means bread. Imagine A loaf of bread punching someone dramatically. Pain becomes memorable instantly. The stranger the mental image, the stronger the memory. Instead of learning manger, to eat, learn je veux manger une pizza. Now the word lives inside a meaningful structure. Many learners understand teachers but panic with natives. Why? Because native speakers speak faster, use slang, shorten words, interrupt each other, change rhythm constantly. Textbook French and real word French are cousins, not twins. For example, je ne sais pas. Real speech, je sais pas. Textbook, tu es. Real speech, t'es. Expose yourself to French YouTubers, podcasts, interviews, movies, street interviews, French TikTok, music. At first you'll understand almost nothing, and that's okay. Your brain is collecting patterns behind the scenes like a tiny linguistic detective. Consistency matters more than immediate comprehension. Losing motivation. This happens to almost everyone. The beginning feels exciting, then comes the plateau. You're no longer a beginner, but not yet fluent. Progress becomes less visible. This stage feels like walking through linguistic fog. Track small wins, not just giant milestones. Celebrate understanding one joke, ordering coffee confidently, recognizing song lyrics, surviving a conversation, reading one paragraph without translating. Language learning is not a straight staircase. It's more like climbing a mountain during changing weather while carrying dictionaries and emotional damage. Progress hides sometimes, but it is still happening. And now, the biggest mistake many French learners make. They wait to feel ready. Ready to speak, ready to practice, ready to sound fluent. But fluency is not a magical door you unlock first. Fluency is built through messy conversations, awkward pauses, wrong verb endings, strange pronunciation attempts, and hundreds of imperfect moments. French is not conquered in one dramatic cinematic montage. It's built slowly, word by word, conversation by conversation, tiny victory by tiny victory, until one day you suddenly realize you understood a movie scene. You answered without translating. You dreamt in French. And the language that once felt impossible begins to feel alive. If this video helped you, write in the comments, je peux le faire. What is your biggest challenge when learning French? Pronunciation, listening, grammar, confidence? Don't forget to subscribe for more French lessons, stories, grammar tips, vocabulary tricks, and cultural deep dives that make learning French feel less like homework and more like opening a secret door into another world.